Everybody. We're just glad to have you all on the call here. And I wanted to introduce Debbie from Globus family of brands. And she's the one that knows everything about Globus, Avalon Waterways, Cosmos, and several of the other companies that they have. She's been such a friend to my senior travel buddies. She's just great. We can't ask a question that she doesn't know the answer to. So that's a big responsibility for you, Debbie.
Yes.
Here she is.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, you put me on the spot there. Now someone's gonna ask me a question that I have no idea what the answer is to, but I basically have an answer to everything. And if I don't know the answer, then my answer is I will go and get that for you, and I'll be right back.
There you go.
There we go. Well, thank you, Pat, and thank you, Monique, and thank you so much, my senior travel buddies. When I first started with Globus a couple of years ago, I actually used to do what Monique and Pat do, which is their travel advisors for you guys. And after the pandemic, I realized that I did not like doing that anymore. So kudos to Monique and Pat, because it truly takes dedicated and loving people, and I think you guys are in the best of hands with them to take care of you and take care of your trips.
There you are.
But hi, Shirley. But Monique and Pat, they are my partners, and I'm, their partner with the Globus family of brands. So I'm very excited to be here with all of you today to talk to you a little bit more about Globus, who we are, what we do, where in the world we can take you, how we can take you there. Monique and Pat also mentioned that, we want to kind of focus on solo travelers. What does that look like for you guys? Is there anything that we can offer to you? And the answer to that is yes. So I'm going to go ahead and just dive in here. And if you guys have any questions, you can put it on the chat. And Monique's here. She's going to be my lady in the back, kind of taking care of all of that stuff for me. So any questions, send it in, and I'll make sure I answer it either during the presentation or afterwards. So Globus family of brands, who are we? We are, the reason why we are a family of brands is because we've got 3 brands within the family: Globus, Cosmos, and Avalon Waterways. Globus and Cosmos are going to be the companies that help us on the land side. So anything that you want to do, in Italy, Scotland, Ireland, here in the US, then you want to do it by land, Globus and Cosmos got you covered. And we're going to go into that in a second here. And then we've got Avalon Waterways, which helps with the river cruise, right? So we operate on all of the major rivers in Europe. We also operate on the Nile, on the Ganges, the Mekong, and South America. So plenty of possibilities for you guys to take advantage of this. And just one second, I'm going to try to mute someone here because I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through. If you all can mute yourselves, that would be helpful. I'm trying to go through, but I'm not able to do everybody.
Okay,
Monique, if
no
you can make me a
worries.
co-host, I can do it.
Okay. Yeah, just
did we get it?
I think so. I think we got it.
Yeah, I think we got it, Lisa. Thank you, though.
Feedback anymore. Okay, good. I just didn't want to blare in anyone's ears here. Okay, so going back to this, we've got 3 companies within the brand, over 540 vacations or itineraries that within the 3 brands that we can offer up to you as possibilities for you. We operate on 6 of the 7 continents, in 71 countries. And we've been around for this year is our 96th year as of April. So we've been around, we've been doing this for a very long time. We know what we're doing. And our ultimate goal is to create happy guests and get them connected to the destinations and the people and the places that they want to visit and learn about. So that's what we're all about. And to sort of help get you excited, more excited about it. And that way you don't have to listen to my voice the entire time. I do have a really quick video that I'd love to share with you. So here it is.
It doesn't take a giant leap. It doesn't take uncommon bravery, nor does it take the confidence of youth to open yourself up to new experiences outside your comfort zone. It just takes one small step into the world on a Globus vacation to see what the world has to offer, and then do things that are out of this world. By turning the foreign into the familiar, we make it easy for you to throw a little caution to the wind, to dip your toe into new waters and old ones too. We are designers. We are inspirers. We are encouragers. Isn't it time you discovered a new path, reserved a different take, explored a new marketplace, or tried a different mode of transportation? Globus takes you to more than just places. We lead you to moments and the memories waiting for you just beyond your comfort zone, because that's where life begins.
Okay, are you as inspired as I am every time I watch that video? Every time I watch it, I'm like, I want to get up and go somewhere as quickly as possible. But that is, in essence, who we are and what we do. And so now I'm going to go into kind of the nitty-gritty details of what is a Globus tour, what does it offer me as a traveler, what does it include? So we're going to go through that as quickly as I can here. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know. But it really comes down to these 6 points that we have here. So what is a Globus tour? So these are pre-arranged, pre-made, predetermined tours. We have like I said, over 540 different tours or vacations that we operate throughout the year. And every single one of them has different departure dates that are already preset. They come with a slew of things, and it really comes down to these 6 things. So one of them is the inclusiveness. So when you're on tour with us, we do include the excursions or the activities that you're going to go do and go see, right? So for instance, when we're in France, going to somewhere like Paris, especially with this year being the host of the Olympics, right? We're always going to take you to the Eiffel Tower. We're going to take you to kind of the highlights of that destination. So in Paris, it'll be the Eiffel Tower, it might be the Louvre, right? Different places like that. So you can be confident that when you're traveling with Globus, that when we're looking at the itineraries and what activities are included there, we're going to take you to the highlights, the places that you want to go see, the different museums that you want to go walk around in. It will be included, and we do a really, really good job at that. Now, how do we get around? Well, we need to, we can't take horse carriage, right? So we've got to figure out a great way to take groups of people around. It really comes down to our motor coaches, beautiful motor coaches. Just a little, I guess, trivia for all of you. Our motor coaches can hold anywhere between about 54 to 60 passengers. Okay, but the most that Globus will ever put on a tour bus like this is 48 passengers. So we always want to make sure that there's plenty of space for people to sit. We do seat rotations, meaning that, the first seat that you started at on the first day, you're going to be in a different seat every single day that you go, just to keep things fair. But this is just our main mode of transportation. I don't want you to think that, oh, Globus is a bus tour. I'm just going to see the world from the lens of the window of the bus. That's not it at all. This is just our way of getting around to get us from the hotel to get you to the Eiffel Tower, to the Louvre, right? Or in Rome and to the Colosseum. So this is just our main mode of transportation, and it's top notch. As you can see, beautiful buses. And they're always new. They've got wide seats. They have USB charging. They've got Wi-Fi as well, because we know that it's important for us to keep in touch with family and friends as we're traveling as well. So we've got that there. And I did make a joke about not going around in horses, but sometimes we do. So it's not just the motor coaches that you're going to, be transferred on. If we can fit it in, and if it makes sense, we'll also go on ferry rides, pleasure boats, the trains even. So using Paris as an example, we've got an itinerary, a 7-night itinerary that goes from London to Paris. And if you're familiar with those two destinations and why they link up, there's an underground a train system, and that's something that we take to get you from London after spending about 2 nights there. Take that train over to Paris, and then you spend the rest of your time in Paris. So we've got different modes of transportation, and again, it's already included, right? We've already kind of pre-made it, put it into the itinerary, and this is just our way of getting around. And if you're wondering, well, Debbie, where do the horses come in? The horses come in places like Ireland and Scotland, where they have, those little horses with carriages. And that is a part of one of the activities that you take part in. They take you around one of the little cities that we've got around there, and it's a lot of fun. Now, I did mention that hotels are included. They are included, and they're 4 to 4.5 star properties, right? So they're going to be, for the most part, in the city center, or at least a 10-minute drive to the city center, right? We can't do it perfectly every single time in every single destination, but for the most part, you can feel confident that you're going to be in a place within the city that's walkable, recognizable. In terms of the places that you walk around, it's going to be easy to get to restaurants, to get to shopping, maybe to some of the attractions as well, local attractions. Or really close to public transportation so that you can take that easily to get around, right? So we try to do our best to do that. We've got fantastic hotel partners around the world. And these are some of the hotels that and kind of brands that you can expect with us. When it comes to 4 to 4.5 star properties, we're not talking about like the Four Seasons and things like that, right? We're talking about 4 to 4.5 star properties in terms of the entire world. So do they have elevators? Is there air conditioning, right? Do they have the level of service that we know our clients have expectations of receiving? So most of the time that's going to look like a Marriott or a Hilton, right? These kind of brands that we know and we're very familiar with. And they might also be more family-owned hotels, like the Killarney Towers Hotel. That is a family-owned, it's been family-owned for generations. A fantastic hotel. Not very many people know about it, but it is one of our best hotel partners that we have out in Ireland. It's absolutely amazing. So this is what you can expect with us. Every single thing, every single hotel during your time with us is going to be included. You're going to have, and you're going to have a great time as well. Now, with us being around for about 96 years now, we have, as you can imagine, forged a lot of great relationships. Like I was talking about the Killarney Hotel, right? It also comes down to the attractions that we take you to. You've spent so much time with, Pat and Monique trying to plan your trip, saving up for the trip, and the last thing you want to do is waste your time in lines, right? So what we do is we make sure that, again, we're not perfect. We can't do it every single time, but 95% of the time, you're not going to have to stand in line for anything. Once we show up, we've got an allotted time that we need to be there. We skip the line and we go straight through, right? So things like the Eiffel Tower, especially at the Colosseum in Italy, that's something that we actually take you to before it opens to the public, so that Globus clients have it all to themselves for about an hour. You can do that with no crowd, right? Just the Globus clients. And it's absolutely amazing experience. Now, my favorite thing that we do and that we include in every single Globus tour is something called the local favorites. So if you're like me, which I think a lot of you are, is when you go to these places, you're not looking for, you don't want to just stay at all the highlight touristy spots, right? If you've been to Paris and you've been to the Eiffel Tower, you know how crazy of a place that street is that she sits on, right? It's crazy. It's got a bunch of street vendors there, and it traffic all the time. And what we're really looking for when we travel are kind of like the hidden gems. Like, where do the locals go? Where do they like to get their pizza? Where do they like to get their coffee that isn't Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, right? And so our local favorites incorporate that. So if you might be familiar, this is Bouchard Gardens in Canada. This is about a 2-hour drive from the biggest city in the area, but it is something that we take the time to take you to, because not many people either know about it, they don't realize it's there, or they're like, oh, it's a garden, you know, that's not something I'm actually interested in. That's what I thought too when I took a Globus tour back in October. From Denver to Denver, I had no interest at all actually ever going through Colorado and experiencing that. I just have no interest. I'm from California, you know, I think I live in the greatest state in America. And when it's not raining, of course, but I never had those interests before until I got on the Globus tour, and the entire itinerary really opened my eyes to one. As a traveler, that's not a very smart way to go into things, right? Looking at things and saying, well, I'm not really interested in that, because I was 100% interested in it when I was there, going through the Canyonlands, going on the Rocky Mountaineer, going to Arches and Dead Horse Point. All of those different places I would have never thought in my life I would have gone to until I went on a Globus tour. So other things that are a lot more fun than, you know, Canyonlands and gardens that we incorporate into the local favorites is food. I love to eat and drink. I love to eat. I can eat my way through anything. It's always a problem whenever I'm traveling. But it's a part of our DNA here at Globus as well. So you can't go to Germany without having a beer. You also can't go to Germany without having a freshly made warm pretzel with beer cheese, or the Black Forest cherry cake, right? So these are things that are included when you're going on certain itineraries with Globus to Germany. We don't want you just to, again, you know, go to a destination and say that you've seen it and that you've physically been there. We want to awaken all of your senses. So what does it taste like? What does it smell like, right? What does it feel like? And that sounds a little silly, but it's true, right? Those are really the moments that we as travelers remember, are these things. Like, I'm never going to forget how great my warm pretzel was, and my beer, and how I can't seem to find pretzels or beer in the States that taste just like that. So I have to go to Germany, right? Now, the last piece of the puzzle, and I love this photo so much, this tall guy that's next to this big old rock in Colorado, right? Just laughing his face off. But this is my favorite part of what's included in the experience with Globus, and it's our tour directors and our guides. So with Globus, there's someone called a tour director who is a representative of Globus who actually travels with you. So I know you guys are lucky. You've got Monique and Pat who tend to travel with your group a lot of the times. But this is an additional person. So even if you weren't to take one of the group tours with, my senior travel buddies, let's say there's a smaller group of you who wanted to do something, here in the States or whatever, you can rest assured, or even going as a solo traveler, that you're going to be taken care of the entire time. You meet this person. This is David. He was my tour director on my Globus tour back in October throughout Denver. And he is absolutely fabulous. And our tour directors are, they are experts at this destination. They act as an extra set of knowledge for you. But when we go to the local attractions, we also have guides there as well who tell us about, again, I just using the Eiffel Tower because it's there, but the Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum, maybe going to the Royal Britannia yacht when you're in Scotland, these different things. We're going to connect you with a local guide who knows all about it. But in addition to that, you have a tour director who's there to tell you where we're going, what time you need to be there, why you're going there, how you're getting there, right? So it really alleviates you from ever even having to think of anything, because you sort of have someone there that's there to think for you. And they're also the perfect person to help you get those amazing photos. Just like here, one of our guests that was on the trip with us, making it look like she's carrying that entire rock, and he got it for her. So again, that in the gist of it, that's really what Globus does. I didn't really touch on Cosmos, but Cosmos is same but different from Globus. The big difference between a Cosmos and a Globus tour is that the hotels that we're staying at are 3 to 3.5 star properties. So it is kind of taking a step down from that first class type of experience that we have with Globus. So Cosmos is going to be 3 to 3.5 star properties. The hotel locations are also going to be more outside of the city center, right? So that's like, if most of you are in San Diego or in California, I can probably use this as an example, but it's like telling someone that they're going to be in San Diego, but you're really having them stay in like La Jolla or something, right? So we're really not in the downtown of San Diego. It's like me telling my family that they're staying in LA, and they are thinking in their minds, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on Sunset Boulevard. I'm going to be in Hollywood. I'm going to see all the stars. And then when they get here, they realize that I'm actually having them stay in Long Beach, which is so far away from them, right? But still technically Los Angeles. So that's kind of the difference between Globus and Cosmos. Globus would have you stay on, really close to Sunset Boulevard, whereas a Cosmos would have you staying in the Long Beach, San Pedro area, right? Or La Jolla and San Diego. So, and then you'll also find different itineraries with Cosmos as well that really get into the outskirts of those destinations. So lower price point, of course, because we are kind of taking it a step down with those with the hotel experience and where it's all located, but fantastic. Nonetheless, everything is exactly the same as well. You still get your tour director, you still get excursions, you still get all of that. Just a little bit of a different experience. Now I'm bringing this back up again because I want you to remember that even though I was using a lot of examples that were Europe based and kind of like France based and Italy based, is that we are almost all around the world, right? Think of us when you want to go to Africa. Think of us when you want to go to Asia. Think of us when you want to go to Alaska. all of those different places we do it. So now I'm going to get into more of the fun part. I wanted to show you guys some different itineraries that we have, and some of them also have a solo supplement waiver on them. So I thought let's talk about these, right? Now before I move on, does anybody have any questions for me about Globus, Cosmos? No, we're good. You guys are A+ students. That's why. Okay, so Globus, the best of Italy, 11 days, Rome to Rome. I love this itinerary. Now, this is not one of those itineraries that has a solo supplement waiver promotion on it. I just wanted to show this to you because this is like one of our most popular Italy itineraries. Okay, and I wanted you to get kind of an idea of what the Globus tour looks like now on a map, sort of what the pricing looks like and what's included, right? So here we have Rome to Rome. As a travel advisor, as a traveler, I love itineraries that start and end in the same place, makes airfare super easy. I'm sure all of you have been seeing that airfare prices are insane right now, right? So it's really important to work with Monique and Pat on some ideas of, okay, how can I want to go to Italy, I want to go to this destination, but airfare might become a problem. What are some ways that we can get creative to do that? I would say round trip flights like this, we're going in and out of the same exact city. That tends to be at a lower price, especially when we're doing it that way. So anyway, this is Rome to Rome. When you're looking at the maps, anytime you see the circles with the numbers in them, that means how many nights we're staying in that city. So I love this because I am more of a cruise girl. I love ocean cruising. I love river cruising. The reason why I love those things is because I only have to unpack once, right? So before I started with Globus, I thought that I was not a land person at all because I don't like to unpack and pack, every night. Love this itinerary because a lot of the times you have actually have 4 stops here where you have 2 nights in that same city. Right. So that makes it super easy for you. And just look at the itinerary. I mean, you're going to places like obviously Rome. You've got 3 nights in Rome in total there. You go to Montecatini, which is amazing place to very quick to go to Florence and Pisa so that you can go and get your photo of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You go to Venice Island. You can take a day boat out on that when we're in Venice as well, Assisi, and then we take you down to the Naples, Pompeii area. You get to stay in Capri, the little island that's off of the coast of Italy for 2 nights, and you get to take the ferry there, right? So that's one of those different transfers that I was talking about, like taking the ferry. So here you've got breakfast daily. You've got 5 dinners that are included in this as well. Again, seeing those highlights that I was talking about, going to places like the Vatican, Pompeii, which a lot of the times I'll let you know this too, is that when people go to Rome or to Italy, they miss out completely on going to Pompeii because it's kind of a drive from Rome. I think it's about an hour and a half or something like that. And most of the time they don't have enough time to fit it in their day or fit it into their itinerary, but you'd be remiss to not go here. Just so much history. They're still excavating too. I think just a few months ago, they just found some more, unfortunately, bodies there. So they are it's still an excavation site. It's still amazing. Fantastic place to go if you've never been there before. And then you also get to see the coast, right? So this is where we sort of end up before taking you back to Rome at the end of the tour. You get to go to places like Via San Michele. You get to come up here, incredible views. And again, if you're in California like me, you love the coast, you love the water, and there's nothing more amazing than going through the coast of Italy and seeing, especially on the Amalfi Coast, absolutely incredible. Now, I'm going to switch it over now because I talk about Europe so much. And I, again, want you to remember that we also do places like North America. So this is a fantastic itinerary that we have that where we actually partner up with the Rocky Mountaineer. If you're not familiar with the Rocky Mountaineer, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who they are in a second here. But again, kind of going back to that, we're not just motor coaches, right? We also do ferries and we do trains. And so here's one of the itineraries where we really utilize some of those ferries and trains. So this is Great Resorts of the Canadian Rockies with Rocky Mountaineer. It's you know, you've got breakfast every single day, you've got 2 lunches, 3 dinners that are included, and the big allure to this itinerary for me is 1, the Rocky Mountaineer, and 2, every single place that you stay, you're staying at a Fairmont hotel. And if you've never stayed at the Fairmont hotel, you got to stay at all of these ones that are up in Canada, at Lake Louise and Jasper, and I've got a really cool slide here that shows you how beautiful they are, but they're the best places to stay when you're in these areas. So with this itinerary, we start from Calgary and then we make our way all the way through to Vancouver. But you can see here we've got some train tracks. Once we make our way up to Jasper, we make our way down to Banff National Park, and that's where we actually pick up the Rocky Mountaineer. So like I said, if you've never heard of Rocky Mountaineer before, here's your introduction. Incredible company. These are not overnight trains. These are just day trains, right? But they are full days of you just sitting on the train, enjoying the views, enjoying company, getting to talk to their tour directors as well about what you're seeing, the history of the places. And if you've never done Canada before, I would highly suggest that you do it on a Rocky Mountaineer because you're going to get the most amazing and overpowering views that you've ever experienced before. Now, when you're on the Rocky Mountaineer, you're always going to get breakfast and lunch, a bunch of snacks in between, all of the drinks that you could ever imagine that your little hearts could desire or maybe not desire. Like you're just drinking and eating and seeing the beautiful world for what she is from the comfort of the Rocky Mountaineer train. Now, again, I was saying that this particular itinerary, you get to stay at all of the Fairmont properties. These are amazing 4.5-star properties up in Canada. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, why wouldn't you just want to go to these places? Look at this Jasper Park Lodge. Absolutely incredible. I would go crazy if I was there. Crazy in a good way, right? Now, during this itinerary, you get to go to places like Lake Louise and see things like the Athabasca Glacier. You also do, we did have a ferry ride out there as well, so that you could see some of the fjords that we have in Canada too. Now let's get to some of the solo supplement waivers that I was talking about. So as solo travelers, you know, sometimes it sounds like a good idea to share your room with your friends or share your room with your brother or sister or whoever, and then you get on the trip and then you're like, oh my God, that was not a good decision. I should have just stayed in my own room. So if you're like me, I figured that out very early in my traveling career that I need to have my own room anywhere I go, unless it's my fiance that's with me, right? So, but when we do that, we get stuck with the solo supplement waivers. So we get stuck with paying more just because we're traveling as solos. So Globus does an amazing thing. We always offer solo supplement waivers on all of our departures. We do 5 of them for each of our Globus departures that we have. But right now, specifically on our Europe Escapes program. So let me tell you a little bit about Escapes by Globus. Escapes by Globus is just our off-season departures. These are going to be between November and March, every single year. And the prices are they're amazing. They're not extremely anything. They're just amazing. Like, I don't even know how we operate these tours for the amount of money that we're asking for. But it's a great opportunity for you. It's a great opportunity for solo travelers to get out there. You get the lower price. You don't get the solo supplement charged to you, right? Because we've got the solo supplement waiver, and then the airfare during the off season tends to be lower as well. So it's a great way to, if you've been dreaming about going to to Scotland, for instance, and that's kind of been on your bucket list, I would take full advantage of the Globus Escapes program. So this is a really cool itinerary, 6 days, Edinburgh to Glasgow. Now, I would definitely spend some more time in Edinburgh and in Glasgow, come in early, stay later, and add those days onto the tour. But that's just me. But this is $11.39 per person. That rate is based off of a double occupancy. But guess what? You don't get charged the solo waiver. Or you don't get charged the solo supplement. So you do get a solo waiver. So that's basically the price that you're going to pay. Obviously, that doesn't include taxes and fees. It doesn't include insurance or your airfare, but it's a great starting price for 6 days out in Scotland, right? And it's available for 2024, 2025 departures as well. So this is 2 nights Edinburgh. We go up to Inverness and then make our way down to the Oban area, and then come back and end in Glasgow. I think it's a great introduction to Scotland. And then again, if you'd like to spend more time there, definitely take some more time in Edinburgh and Glasgow. And then these are some of the sights and things that you would see while you're there. Can't go throughout Scotland without seeing one of those beautiful Highland cows, right? They look like they're surfer boys from California, and then we drop them off in Scotland, and then they grew horns. But these amazing animals, of course, some of the Scottish bands as well, especially when you're in Edinburgh and Glasgow, being able to see some of those things. So again, the time is now for you to go. I know money is an issue always, but we as Globus are trying to make it easier and more affordable for you to have the Globus experience. Go during a time where it's not crowded. There aren't, very many people going. Maybe the weather's not so great, but heck, with all the money that you're saving, you could do a bunch of different things while you're there, right? So another Globus Escapes that I wanted to show you that does qualify as well for the solo supplement waiver is our Welsh Escape with London. This is London to Manchester. So in my opinion, what I would do is I'd do these kind of back to back, right? The UK or London and Edinburgh or Glasgow, it very quick flight away from one another. I think that's one of the amazing things about going to the British Isles. So you can do this, have 2 itineraries that you do. I'm going to tell you right now, it is very easy to find some of them that kind of line up in this way. So Monique and Pat can help you with that. But very quickly for this one, this starts in London. You make your way over to Wales and then end in Northern England in Manchester. I think it's a fantastic itinerary. Not very many people go to Wales or even think about going to Wales when they're in the UK. And I think it's just such a missed opportunity. Right now, if you're anything like me and you like to binge watch things on Netflix and Hulu and those other streaming platforms, there is a show that on Disney Plus with Ryan Reynolds and one of his best friends who ended up buying or purchasing one of the soccer teams or football teams out in Wales. And we actually go there. right? We actually go there. We actually take our clients to the pub that's right next to the field. And you can meet all of the local people that you'd see in the Disney Plus special that they have. So this is one of those instances where popular culture has really determined something in one of our itineraries. But again, it's a fantastic itinerary to be able to do. And I would most definitely try to do the Scotland one I was showing you, in addition to this one, because in my opinion, if you're going out of the US for less than 10 days, you need to extend your stay a little bit, because there's so much to see and there's so much to do, especially for those long flights. So I think I'm doing okay on time. Yeah, I've got like 15 more minutes. Does anybody have any questions about Globus or any of those itineraries maybe before I start talking to you about river cruising? No? Again, I've got A+ students here, Angel, Nancy, Shirley. All right. We're going to test you at the end of this. Okay. So, okay. So now we're going to switch gears, and we're going to talk about Avalon Waterways, cruising elevated. If you've not done river cruise before, it is your time to start going and experiencing the world through river cruise. But again, lucky you have another video that I'm going to show you. And this wonderful human being is going to give you a little snippet of what the Avalon experience is like.
There may be comfort in the usual, but true discovery and remarkable experiences are the rewards for the curious. They are the gifts that reside beyond the ordinary. Welcome aboard Avalon. Smaller ships, bigger experiences, fewer people, more of everything, right at your fingertips. And you wake up in the best staterooms in the business, to a new port every day, right in the heart of great cities, with nothing but possibilities ahead. Driven by out-of-the-box thinking and a relentless pursuit of better, Avalon heard the siren song to elevate cruising, and they have. So if you believe that life is worth living, not looking, memories are worth making, but better stories need better settings, and that we could all use a little different. Ready for an Avalon cruise. Cruising.
Okay, I think we're all ready for an Avalon cruise, aren't we? Yeah, especially with him. If you don't know him, that's Graham McTavish. He's on things like that dragon show that's supposed to be like Game of Thrones or something like that. I mean, when I saw him, he was doing our little snippet for Avalon. I was freaking out. I was like, wait, isn't that so-and-so from that Game of Thrones show? Yes, it is him. And if you're interested, you guys can talk to Pat and Monique about traveling with him this October on the Rhine. He is hosting a 7-night cruise with us, and he's going to be there doing his storytelling. I mean, he's got an amazing voice, as you can tell. And he's Scottish and is just such a gentleman. And is going to talk to us about some of the books that he's written, and some of the amazing things that he's doing as well. So there's my little snippet. Talk to you about Graham McTavish. So now let's get into river cruising. So river cruising is nothing like ocean cruising. I know my senior travel buddies, you guys do quite a bit of ocean cruises. Completely different experience on the river. Graham said it great. He said, Avalon is kind of dedicated to small ships, bigger experiences with less people. And I'm all about that. I love making connections. And I feel like the best way to do that is when you have a more intimate experience, especially with the people that you're traveling with. So as you can see here, this is one of our ships actually sailing down the Rhine River, and it's nothing like ocean cruising. Ocean cruising, you're stuck in the middle of the sea with nothing but ocean around you at times, and sometimes you have to tender to the ports, right? Here you are literally surrounded by land on the left and right side of you. And we get right into the ports as well, so you're just steps away from starting your adventure. Now, our dedication to small ship river cruising, and how do we get that elevated experience? Well, it really comes down to our the best staterooms in the business, as Graham said, right? Our panorama suites. So I have a short video to show you as well about our panorama suites and how they help with our experience on Avalon waterways.
The suite ships in Avalon, designed from the ground up with an attention to detail river cruising has never seen before. There's nothing quite like river cruising, no matter who you cruise with, but there are some pretty big differences between companies, starting with how they look at staterooms. And our one-of-a-kind panorama suite is proof of our innovation, our imagination, and our desire to create a smarter use of space. To give you some perspective of how much better our staterooms are, we're comparing them to the average river cruise cabin. Here's the average window, roughly 7 feet wide, with an opening under 4 feet. Here's our window, nearly 11 feet wide, floor to ceiling, wall to wall. And when it opens, it really opens, wide enough to let the outside in, because the opening is a full 7 feet, almost twice the size of the others. It's the largest standard window in river cruising. Now, let's take a look at the bed of the average cabin. It faces the wall, not much to look at there. We had a much better idea. What if we angled the wall and turned the bed? That little change gives you the perfect perspective of the amazing views out your window. We then turned our attention to the balcony. Here's the average river cruise balcony. Seems like a nice idea, but as far as we can tell, there's not a lot of room for people to enjoy the views out there. And they had to take space from your stateroom to create that small deck space outside. So here's our better idea. Reclaim that space, push the window out, add a spacious dining and seating area for up to 6 adults, combine it with the largest sliding glass door in the business, and voila, you have an open air balcony, the only one of its kind in river cruising, and you can enjoy it day and night, no matter the weather. Plus, you'll enjoy a lot more livable space, a full 200 square feet. We gave our room an attention to detail unmatched in the industry. We offer comfort collection beds, plenty of easily accessible storage, and we even added sound dampening insulation in our walls to make it less likely you'll hear your neighbors or they'll hear you. And we didn't stop with the room. We turned that same attention to detail to the bathroom. We took a look at the bathroom of the average ship and we knew we could do better. By angling the wall, we opened up more space in the bathroom. Then we took our newfound space and we made it luxurious. We have a large tile shower with glass doors, marble countertops, premium fixtures, L'Occitane bath amenities, and shelves to store all your necessities. And the best part is that there aren't just a couple of these staterooms on our ships, reserved for those who want to pay more. 80% of the staterooms on our suite ships are panorama suites. And once you leave your suite, you're likely to find fewer people on our suite ships. Because with our bigger staterooms, there is less capacity for passengers, which means more space everywhere you go. As you can see, more has gone into the amazing panorama suites, so you can get so much more out of them. We invite you to compare, and you'll see there's no comparison.
Okay, are you guys ready even more now to go on Avalon? So here's a kind of an inside view of what the panorama suite looks like. 200 square feet, absolutely beautiful. And you'll have this view when you're traveling with us. So I love this. After a long day of excursion, coming back down, opening up my open air balcony, and then just laying on the bed, watching the world pass by or Budapest pass by as we're sailing, right? The beautiful bathrooms, all marble. And it's a fantastic place to stay by yourself. by the way, right? If you're having to share with someone, it's still very, very spacious. We even have small details, like we'll put 2 different colored towels in the bathroom, so there's no fights and bickering about who's used what towel, right? We've got our towel assignments, but great place to be able to just stay by yourself as well. And we do offer solo supplement waivers in our panorama suites. Now, the word panorama is kind of synonymous throughout the entire ship. So we know that when you're on the river, because you've got land on both sides of you, you don't want to miss out on those views at all, even when you're inside the ship. So we do things, or we have places like the Panorama Lounge, which you guys are going to spend a lot of time here when you're on board with Avalon, because it's right next to the bar, beautiful bar where we have our happy hour, and the best bartenders on the river as well. Other public spaces with those wide open views, like the club lounge. This is where, this is a little tip for you. So when all of you go on Avalon, either this year or next year, Pat's going in April. So that's exciting. And Monique has traveled with us. We were actually traveling together for a little bit, about a year ago now. This is where we store all of our snacks. So if you're always hungry like me, this is the place that you're going to go to quite a bit. But other things that are included in the experience with Avalon. Okay, so it's not just we're going to talk to you about the rooms and how beautiful the panorama suites are, but it's also, again, about the experience. What is included when you're making your final payments? What do you have to worry about? Your food is already included. The snacks, the drinks during your meal times, those are included. We have beautiful places like the Panorama Dining Room, where you're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. And, you know, with our ships, having 80% of the Panorama suites, on average, we have about 150 passengers traveling with us at a time. So not a lot of people, right? And you can sit comfortably here. You can show up to the dining room at whatever time during the duration, and be seated very quickly, and get to eating, right? Which is our favorite part. Now, talking about eating, our food is absolutely incredible. We do have, our commitment is to, as much as we can, getting farm fresh produce onto the ships when we can do it, right? So that we can create beautiful things like this for you to enjoy, or this beautiful dessert plate. And our food is top notch. If you guys have any dietary restrictions, like gluten-free, vegan, or whatever, our chefs are incredible and they make those things already. But if you have some extra, things that you need for us to kind of think about while you're traveling with us, we always do a very good job at that. And the best part is that it tastes really good too. So we're not messing that up. Now, the drinks, like I said, are included. So you'll have things like juices, smoothies, sodas, and then here we have beer, wine, and sparkling wine. All of those things will be included during the meal times, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The only thing that's different is that for breakfast, it's sparkling wine, and then we save the beer and the wine for lunch and dinner. But you've got all of that free refills during that time. I promise you, you're not going to have to buy anything more than that. And then we also added a happy hour, so the hour prior to dinner every night, except for the first night, because it's a champagne toast with the captain. But every other night after that, we have a happy hour, so you can come in. There's a very extensive menu where you can get either alcoholic drinks or non-alcoholic drinks. Great mocktails as well. Now, after we've eaten and drank everything that we can on board the ship, we also have a person on our ship called our adventure host, who's dedicated to leading all of the activities on board, in addition to the cruise director. So this person leads the morning yoga. They're a great person to talk to if you want to, get a map of the city, or maybe rent out one of the bikes that we have on board, any of the walking sticks. If you want to find a place to go have a picnic, this is the perfect person to talk to as our adventure host. And again, included, right? So this is just an additional person to be there to service you. And then in addition to that, our excursions are included as well. Yes, that's right. So it's not like the ocean experience where you have to pay extra for your excursions. We actually include our excursions in the final price that we give you. And there's 3 different styles of excursions that we have available to you. You've got your classic, active, and discovery. So classic tours are going to be, the really quick hour to 2 hour long highlight tours where we drive you around the city like Budapest, take you to all of the highlights, and then bring you back into the ship. Or you have active, like if we're looking at this lovely lady in the middle here who's having her kind of like Sound of Music moment on the bike. If you want to hike, bike, trek, kayak, canoe, any of those types of activities, we have those available to you as well, for you to take part in. But you probably are like me, again, I just feel this connection between all of us, that you're probably like doing more of the discovery. So how do I get my hands into this destination? I want to be hands-on. I want to taste it. I want to smell it. I want to cook the food. I want to paint the pictures. I want to do all of that stuff. We have what's called our discovery excursions that allow you to do that and give you those opportunities to do that, and they are included. So incredible inclusions when we're looking at on an Avalon River cruise. And then last but certainly not least, right, again, my favorite part of the Globus family experience are the people that we have, and our crew members. We have a 3-to-1 guest ratio, which means for every 3 of you. So we've got you right here, Angel, Nancy, and Shirley. There's going to be 1 crew member to take care of you. They know your name within the first 24 hours. They meet you where you are. So if you need a little bit more hand holding, they're going to be there for you. If you're a little bit more independent and get a little anxious from people kind of being up in your face, asking you if you're okay all the time, they'll leave you alone, and make sure that you have a great time with us. And they are real people, just like here they are, right? I've got Catalin, who was our cruise director, while Monique was with us, actually. And then a few of our guys are bartenders that were on the Envision on the Danube. So they are real people. They're absolutely amazing, down to earth. They just love what they do, and they love working with Avalon, and they love working with our clients as well. And then just a small note that I wanted to make, and I know I'm running out of time here, but with the Globus family of brands, we know that sustainability is really important. It is one of our values. It's something that we take very, very seriously. So I just wanted to mention that on the river cruise side, there are things that we do, like we partner with Trees for Travel. So every client that travels with us, they get a tree planted. You don't have to do anything. It's something automatic that we do with this organization. We've also got eliminated single-use plastics on Avalon. We don't print anything. Of course, we have the ability to do it if you need it, but everything is kind of digital. It's on all of the displays in around the ship. And then, of course, you've got the cruise director who can help you with any questions that you might have about the schedule and things like that. But I really love this part about us and what we do. So I just wanted to mention that. Now, where do we go with Avalon? Well, you can go to France with us. You can go Portugal and Spain now. Basically take yourself from the North Sea almost all the way down to the Black Sea, in Bulgaria and Romania. But these are all of the rivers that we're doing right now just in Europe. Okay. And then some of the itineraries that I wanted to sort of highlight for you, if it's your first time doing a river cruise, I always recommend doing either the Danube or the Rhine. You're going to get more of those bigger cities that you're familiar with, Budapest, Amsterdam, Vienna, things like that, and have an incredible experience. So I just wanted to show you guys a couple of the, or a few of the different itineraries that we have. This is the illumination of the Danube. It starts in Germany, ends in Budapest. Quite honestly, I would do the opposite direction. I would do Budapest to Germany and then end in Prague. That's just me, because you hit the two big cities, Budapest and Vienna, and then as the itinerary kind of goes along, you get to see more of the smaller towns along the river, and so it kind of slows down with you as you get you will be tired during your time with us, but it kind of slows down with you, and then you end in a beautiful place like Prague. So but this is a fantastic itinerary as well. If you've never done it before, incredible place to see. I love the Danube. And then we've got Christmas time, because Christmas markets are huge, I know. So 13 days from Frankfurt to Budapest during Christmas. 12 days or 12 night itinerary, 13 days, takes you from Germany all the way down to Hungary. So you get to see you get to be on the main river, and then which connects to the Danube. Great itinerary that we have here, especially if you're looking for a good option for Christmas markets, right? I love this one because it takes you from Germany to Budapest. So you kind of get this, you get the experience of 3 different countries' Christmas markets. They're all kind of a little bit the same, right? But then you get the opportunity to say that to people, because most people do the Rhine when they do Christmas markets, and I think it's a really big missed opportunity not doing the Danube or the Main for Christmas markets and Christmas time. And then here's a good one on the Rhine. I know it sounds like I'm not a huge fan of the Rhine River, but I really am. It is a great river to go on. But I wanted to show you this. Is from Amsterdam to Remich, which is close to Luxembourg. Fantastic itinerary. You get to go to Amsterdam, you go to Cologne, Rudesheim, and you get to see 2 or sail on 2 different rivers as well that connect with one another. And instead of continuing down the Rhine, you go off and you go through the Moselle, which is very storybook. So if you're looking for that European kind of castles, grandiose type of a scenery, this is the best itinerary for you to do, is going on the Rhine and the Moselle. And then at the end, you get to go to Luxembourg, or you can extend your stay in Paris as well. And then just another Danube itinerary with Prague that I wanted to show you. You need to go to Prague anytime you're going to this area or sailing on the Danube. You must go to Prague. So I just wanted to make sure that I let everyone know that. And then if you wanted to go down farther in the Danube, going down to the lower Danube, getting into Romania and Bulgaria, this is a fantastic itinerary that we have. This is like going back in time to a place untouched by time. So if you're trying to look for that, like what was this area like before modern technology and all of this stuff, sail on the lower Danube. You will be able to see that. But I love this itinerary because we have a 2-night extension in Transylvania, or Brasov, which is in close to Transylvania. We take you to Dracula's castle. We have dinner there as one of the excursions as well. Don't worry, everyone has come back perfectly normal and perfectly fine when they came back from that dinner. No bite marks anywhere, no new fangs, and no new wings. So we're all good there. But this is a fantastic itinerary if you're ever able to do it. And the most epic itinerary, I would say, would be going from Germany and taking the Main all the way down to the Danube and finishing here in Bucharest. So I want to thank you guys, one, for your time and spending time with me, but also for being a part of my senior travel buddies and also supporting Monique and Pat. Like I said, they are your travel advisors. This is their livelihood. Of course, they love what they do. But to me, it is so important that we support one another and we support local, right? And you guys are absolutely doing that here. So I wanted to let you guys know that in addition to the solo supplement waivers that you saw and any of our current promotions that are going on, which we're running a lot of them right now, you'll see air inclusive promotions for Ireland and Scotland. You're going to see about $200 off per person for Europe and North America. And then don't even get me started on 2 days from now in March, what those promotions are going to be like. But I am going to say that you're probably going to want to start calling Pat and Monique on March 1st, because we're going to have some really great promotions that are going to come out. But in addition to those promotions that are being run, I did want to also offer all of you a $100 credit to any of your bookings when you book with us or when you book with Monique and Pat. And it's good until March 17th. So again, I want to thank you guys. Do any of you have any questions for me? Did you find this helpful? Good.
Thank
Nancy?
you so much. I'm going to unmute everybody. So if anybody would like to ask a question, but I do want to reiterate, I have been on the Rocky Mountaineer and it is amazing. I was able to do the Canada trip and also the Denver trip. I went in May and it was still snowing in Canada and Denver both. But Lake Louise was frozen solid. So I didn't get to see the beautiful blue-green color, but the Fairmont Hotel there is beautiful, gorgeous. It's amazing. So, and just being on the train, I know you think maybe you'd be bored on the train, but honestly, the scenery around you is just amazing. You cannot get enough of it. We saw 2 bears when we were in Canada. Both of them were grizzly. One of them was a white grizzly, which is extremely rare.
Oh,
And the other one was just a regular grizzly, but they were right by the train. And it was incredible, just something you don't see, especially out here in San Diego. We don't see bears.
yeah.
But yeah, it was just so relaxing, amazing, beautiful. And the river cruising, if you haven't done a river cruise, it is very different from ocean. It is more destination inclusive. You're gonna be, there's basically a floating hotel. So you're gonna, see land on both sides. You're not gonna just be out in the vast ocean. Very nice vessels. I was able to actually look at all of the different brands and vessels, and I really do like Avalon because the bed is basically facing the window. You're not on the side. And it's a very spacious room and very pretty. The vessel itself is very nice. So I really, really loved the product and I loved being in Budapest. It was beautiful there. There's just so much of this world to see, not enough time.
Yes.
So
I
is there
agree.
any other questions? You can unmute yourselves, raise your hand, ask to unmute. There we go. I tried to unmute you, Angel. I know you had your hand up. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, Nancy, I think I muted herself. So whoever has a question, just go ahead.
Oh,
Does somebody have a question?
Yeah, Angel's trying to figure out how
No,
to.
here, Angel, I'm going to try to, it says ask to unmute. Let me see. Ask to unmute.
that worked. Okay.
There we go. Okay.
I have a question. Can you mix and match the type of excursions when you're on the river cruises? Like, can you take a Discovery one day and a Classic another day?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay.
Yes. So, and that's a fantastic question. So we're always, every single day in each port, we will have a menu of different excursions that you can do that fall within those three: Classic, Active, and Discovery. So
Okay.
it doesn't matter. You get to choose. We actually recommend that you make your excursion selections before you get on the trip.
Right.
So right after final payment, that opens up for you so that you can see what type of excursions we're offering, and you can go ahead and sign up for it. So, and then you can change your mind. If you change your mind, you can make those changes while you're on board with us. But yes, you can do whatever excursion it is. It doesn't matter the style.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good question.
Yeah.
All right, Nancy and Shirley,
I have a question.
have questions or
Yeah,
oh, she just unmuted. She just muted herself.
okay, how's that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Did I understand you to say on the river cruises that there is a solo waiver, supplement waiver?
Yes, yes. So just like with Globus on Avalon, we also do solo supplement waiver promotions, but we also on every single itinerary, we have about 10 cabins that we're able to give solo supplement waivers to. So Monique and Pat have the availability to be able to see that if it's available during one of the itineraries. But yes, and it would be to clarify, it would be usually it's for the lower category, which is the deluxe stateroom. But if you ever want to do it for the panorama, this is why it's so important for you guys to work with people like Pat and Monique, who know people like me, who will go out and vouch for you, because a lot of the time I'm able, as long as the availability is there, we can get an exception to do it for the panorama suite, so that way you have it for that suite.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
so welcome. All Shirley and Angel are ready. Angel's like, I want to know what excursions I'm doing. Shirley's like, I want to make sure that I'm not paying a bunch of money for the panorama suites.
Do you find it often that you have problem with the river levels and then you end up on a bus instead of a boat?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. So yes and no. With our ships being much smaller, we can actually get farther along than a lot of the other river cruise lines' vessels, because some of them tend to be a little bit bigger. Because all of ours are all of the Avalon ones are exactly the same size, right? We also have technology built into the ship where it's helpful when the water levels are too low, or like we experienced this year, it was too high because there's flooding happening, right? So it's just Mother Nature. We have to, we do what we can. But I will say this is that we are the only river cruise line out there that is a part of a tour company like Globus. So when we do need those buses, it's very easy for us to get the buses, whereas our competitors, like last year, they had clients waiting in one spot. Like they literally their trip became a Budapest trip because they couldn't get any farther along because they couldn't get any buses because everyone needed buses. Whereas for us, we have that safety blanket and we're able to get our clients out of there within, hours of us needing to. So that's another trivia question for you. But that's one of our secret weapons that we have being a part of Globus.
Okay.
Yes.
Pat, you have your hand up. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm excited to go on the Avalon, but as well, since I'm in Europe anyway, and it's a long trip, I'm going to be joining one of our groups. It's called Gourmet Tuscany, through Globus. I think it's a Cosmos tour, and it's up and out of Florence and Montecatini. So after I'm through with that one, then I'll fly over to Vienna or I'm sorry, Budapest, and take the river cruise. So you can, that can be done too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
Pat's doing one
excited
of our
for
short
her.
rides. I know, right? And we are going, I'm so excited because we're going to get all the photos that Pat takes, you know, from her being on the Cosmos tour with Monique, and then how that transition is going on to the Avalon. So that is very exciting. We're very excited to have you, Pat. But
Yes.
she's doing one of our, what is it, like 4-night itineraries?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. So we have those two. They're going away after this year, but if you have a trip already planned, you can't really stay for an additional 7 nights. We do have itineraries in 2024 that range from 3 nights to 6 nights. So that's also, there are also some opportunities like that. And we'll make sure that Pat and Monique share the October cruise with Graham McTavish in case either of you two want to sail with him. I think he still has a few spaces left. Shirley's got a big grin on her face. She's like, "Oh, yep, that's mine."
Yep. I'll be no.
She'll be like,
That sounds like a really fun trip. It
yeah,
really does.
yeah.
So,
So,
how,
do you have any questions, things that you guys want to know about, or maybe destinations that you're thinking of right now that you want to go on?
I want to go on a Scotland tour so bad I can't hardly stand it, but I can't do it this year. I've made a commitment for October of this year, so I'm thinking next year.
Perfect. Well, lucky for you, Shirley, and lucky for me, we're going to get you to Scotland in 2025. We have all of our departures for Scotland already. So you just got to talk to Monique and Pat about that. But we'd love to
Okay.
have you.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. All right. Anything?
Thank
We're
you
also
so
gonna
much.
work
I appreciate your
on,
time that you spent with us.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime. I have so much love for Monique and Pat and my senior travel buddies. One day we'll all do an Avalon cruise together. That way I can finally meet everyone in the group.
Yeah, it
But
would be good.
until then, I'm here. I'm on the Facebook page. I follow it. I'm in there sometimes in the comments. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to Pat and Monique. And they've got my cell phone, so very easy to get in touch with me. But thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening. All right.
You as well. All right,
Bye-bye.
Pat, Monique,
Thank
take
you.
care.
bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
And I'll be recorded. It's recorded, so I'll post it on the site for those who were not able to make it, or
Amazing.
if you want to
Thank
revisit
you.
it too. Okay.
Thank
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 you,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.